episode on Sunnylanka. I'm your host Priya, and today we'll be making curd or yogurt, and it is so simple to make. I didn't even consider putting this recipe on, and then I was talking to a few people and they mentioned, I said that I make my own yogurt or curd, and they said, oh, you should put that on Sunnylanka. So here I am putting it on. It's so simple to make. I almost I think you only need to watch it once and you'll know exactly what to do. It's so simple to do. So anyways, we only need two ingredients for the very basic curd that we're going to make, and that is milk. I have here milk that we get in bags, and it's 1 liter of milk and 2 tablespoons of yogurt. Now you do need a starter, so if you don't have yogurt, then the first time you do want to buy it, and just before you finish using it all up, you can make your own yogurt. And this is 2 tablespoons of yogurt that I made last time, and it's a little watery at this point, but it does come out very nice and thick. And the other most essential part to this is that you will need a very heavy bottom pan, and non-stick preferably, because you're going to just boil the milk. Okay, so simple to do. Let's get right to it. I have my heat on medium, and to that I'm going to add in my milk. So like I said, 1 liter of milk. And even if you had more milk, you only need the 2 tablespoons of yogurt, because what it does is it just activates the process. It's got the active biotics in it that will get the rest of the boiled milk activated to become curd or yogurt. Okay, so on a medium heat, I'm just going to bring the milk up to a boil. You want to watch the milk constantly so as not to burn it, and stir it so that it doesn't catch on the bottom. Now I am using a non-stick pan, but still I will stir the milk just so that, I'm sorry for all the shaking the camera there. Okay, so I am going to stir the milk using a wooden spoon because my pot is non-stick. Okay, so as you can see, it's coming up to a boil, and the more you heat up the milk, the thicker your yogurt will be, the curd will be, because the water evaporates out of it. So I like my yogurt not very thick, but fairly thick. So there, it's coming up to a boil, and now is when I take it off the stove. Okay, I'll turn off the stove, and now just give it a good mix. And it's very, very hot at this point, so we want it to cool down, but be fairly warm to the touch. So how I would describe that is, I don't use a thermometer, so the way I gauge it is if I just dip my finger in, it will be just warm, like warm tap water, and you don't want it cold, but you want it slightly warm. So I'm gonna let this, after I'm just making sure that nothing's stuck on the bottom, because all of that could be curd for me. Okay, so there. I'm going to let it sit for a good 10-15 minutes. It might take longer depending on how cold it is for your climate. And then you just want to dip your finger in, and it should be slightly warm. Okay, So we'll get back at that stage. Okay, so now the milk has cooled down, and you can see that a skin has even formed on the top. It is just slightly warm to the touch, so if I did dip my finger in just to see that it is warm to the touch, and so I'll just give that a good stir to get rid of, to break down that skin. And then I'm going to add in all of the starter yogurt that I have. I don't know what the difference is, like we call it curd, but it's called yogurt. I don't know if they're different, but I use them interchangeably. So let's call this curd for now, or yogurt, doesn't matter. Okay, and then give it a good mix. So you're wanting to mix in that yogurt that you put in well into the milk. Okay, so alright, so now I just want to show you something else that you could do. I'm gonna try and make in this small container vanilla flavored yogurt, and for that I need vanilla extract. Try to use pure vanilla extract and not essence. And I also have one sachet of the sweetener. Okay, and the reason I am using sweetener is because I don't really like to use sugar in my yogurt, but you can use sugar, and if you are using sugar, you should use icing sugar, because you want it as fine as possible, and you don't want to do a lot of mixing to stir it so that the sugar melts or dissolves. So I'm going to put in, and with the icing sugar, you don't want it overly sweet either, so I'd use about quarter to a half teaspoon maybe. Putting in my sweetener, I'll put in just one tiny drop of the vanilla extract. It's pretty strong. And then pour in, I can back it up there. Pour in my yogurt. Okay, there. Okay, whoops. Okay, and then use a little spoon. Give that a good mix. Okay. Just going to do a taste test to see if yeah, it's sweet, and I can taste the vanilla too. Okay, there. And then you want an airtight lid on it. So a container that is airtight. You really do want to seal it in. And then that's my vanilla yogurt that I will put in the oven to sit for a few hours. Overnight is good. Now for the rest of my yogurt, what I do is just regular yogurt that we're making at home to use with my rice, or in my marinades and things like that. I have an old yogurt container, and I think it's great to reuse it. So all of this milk in there, I'm just going to put it in. And it is just the right amount. It came all the way to the brim, which was nice. And then I give it a few minutes to settle down like that. I have a tight lid on that as well. So put my lid on. Make sure it's sealed in properly. And I will set it in the oven to sit for a good 4 to 5 hours, if not longer. I generally like to leave it overnight and that way it will set very well. So I'll get back to you tomorrow morning and I will show you what the yogurt looks like. There you go, folks. Today's dish, I guess. It's homemade curd or yogurt. And here is my plain yogurt. It's got some liquid on the top, which is fine. You just let it sit. And you can see it's very thick underneath. It's settled very well. And then here is my vanilla yogurt that I just grabbed from my son while he was trying to eat it. So that's why it looks like that. But it's so easy to make, so why not try it at home, right? And let me know how it turns out for you. If you haven't already done so, do subscribe. You'll be the first to know when I upload a video. And share the video with your friends, or you can also, if you did enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. So until next time, ayubowan.